cast from the coast.
There's no more room in hell. The dead will walk here.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Here's Johnny.
She just goes a little mad sometimes. We all go a little mad sometimes.
This 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face, the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.
The boogeyman is real, and you found him.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
Have you checked the children?
Welcome, everybody, to episode 46 of They Cast from the Coast. My name is Adam Miles, and I'm joined with me, as always, Tim, the mechanical asshole Johnson.
Mechanical.
I don't know if I like that, man.
I don't know how I feel about that. Like,
What do you mean you don't know how you feel about
like
that?
it's
perfect.
Is it because like I have mechanical
Abilities?
or is my ass hole actually like mechanical? Like
You're thinking too far into this, Tim. I don't really know what to say.
You posed this name for me this evening, and of course I gotta look into it a little bit.
Well,
Mechanical asshole.
Well, why don't you look into it and let us know, because I'm not about to start diving into that myself. So, how you doing, Tim?
I don't know.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, thank you, buddy. How's your week been going?
It's been going. It's been going. I've been going to sleep at night, waking up the next day. It's progressing. You know, my week has been going.
As my friend Lauren says, you didn't wake up the next morning surrounded by the smell of pine and darkness. So, you know, you're good.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah, no, it's been good. Doing the normal stuff, editing pictures like a madman, trying to get a lot of stuff done for the next convention that's coming up, which I'll be doing photography, and you guys will be joining me as well.
Woo! Spring Geekwadox 2018, Halifax. At the
Be there.
Be there Sunday.
And Saturday.
And Saturday, yes. Yeah. Fine.
So I'm trying to get ready for all that because there's a lot of work that got to go into getting everything ready and, you know, making sure that we got, prints and stuff like that, because this will actually be the first time doing a con where everything of Misunderstood Art Company is going to be represented. So we got the YouTube stuff with us as They Cast from the Coast, and Filmgoria, because Filmgoria at that point in the future will be out, and you know, all that good stuff. But then on top of that, there's going to be the Dead Girl Superstar stuff. I'm going to be doing the photography stuff for Misunderstood Photography. So it's just it's really cool that I'm going to be actually joined by you guys.
Oh, we're
happy
to be there.
A cohesive unit.
Yes.
Yes.
Cohesiveness.
Very exciting. Very exciting.
We're gonna take lots of video and like document as much as we can over the whole weekend, and at some point in the future, this magical con video from Spring Geekwadox 2018 will be out for your guys' viewing pleasure. Yes. But besides that, normal Tim stuff, watching movies, watching horror movies. I feel like I'm running out of horror movies. Isn't that weird? Yeah, no, I know. Weird. There's never a shortage of horror movies. Never. You can always find something, even if it's crappy. Mm-hmm. It's still a horror movie, right? Yeah. But last night, remember, Adam, I messaged you.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to watch a movie, but I don't know what to watch.
Yeah.
So what I ended up settling on was Happy Death Day. I did enjoy it, and what you said online, it was cute.
It was. That's the point. It was cute.
But it wasn't cute in a negative sense. Like I liked the story arc. I liked the kind of meaning behind it. I guessed half hour in who the killer was, and Anthony's like, no, it's this person. I go, no, I guarantee it's this person.
She has the most reason, apparently.
I've watched enough horror movies to guess it, and I was like, if I get it right, you got to go to bed like right away. And I got it right, but I didn't send them to bed right away. But anyways, all in all, I actually really enjoyed it, and I like that at the end, you know, because it is essentially the horror movie version of Bill Murray's Groundhog Day. I love how they kind of got meta with it, and they're like, yeah, did you ever see Groundhog Day?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that was good.
Well, interestingly enough, they did announce today that there is a script written for the sequel that they want to do.
Happy Death Day or Groundhog Day?
No, Happy Death Day.
I got really excited.
Well, I know Groundhog Day with Bill Murray. You know, I'd love that too. But no, Happy Death Day. Apparently, there is a script written, and they're saying that it would be a very elevated sequel, kind of like a Back to the Future Part 2 sequel-esque type situation. So I don't know. It would be interesting. It'd be cute. I like I said, it was a decent movie. It was worth watching. So that, but. Well, you know what? I mean, that just kind of brings up something. We might have to do something else with the podcast and the web series here and do like a segment, literally, like, has Tim seen it? And then, like, if Tim hasn't seen it...
What do you mean? You're making me seem like this horror noob.
No!
Seriously.
Really?
But you're running out of shit to watch, so it's like, has Tim seen it? And then, you know, you report back to us when we give you something to watch that week because you don't know what to watch, so...
Okay, all right. So next podcast, that's what we'll do.
All right, next podcast.
All right, next podcast, we'll introduce this new segment.
We'll introduce.
I like that. I like that. No, well, I mean, like I said, is horrors. There's so many different movies out there, and so many different like variations and subcategories and stuff like that, right? And normally, what I tend to like is the stuff that I tend to like, right? Which is the stuff I'm familiar with. I love slasher movies. I love paranormal movies. I love, even like, possessed movies like Exorcist, which I picked up today. I got an original, like, cardboard copy of The Exorcist.
Oh, yes. The one with the clip open on the front.
Yeah. So I was like, man, this is old school. So... And Anthony was asking me about The Exorcist tonight. He was like, is that the one with the little girl that says a lot of bad words and her head spins around? I go, yes. He goes, we got to watch that. Because I own Exorcist Part 2 and 3. Nice. But I didn't own Part 1. Nice. Right?
Yeah.
So, like I said, when I was up at the pawn shop today, they usually have a deal where you can get 10 DVDs for like $10. So I always go to the DVD section because a lot of the movies that I like and want to own would be easier to find on DVD anyway. Like, if I wanted a copy of They Live, I already own it, but I'm just saying, like, it'd be easier finding that on DVD than it would be, say, Blu-ray, right? So, but anyways, yeah, I got a bunch of movies today, which I'm really excited about. I also got an original copy that I was looking for of George Romero's Day of the Dead.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, so because that was the last one of that trilogy that I was looking for on DVD.
Yeah,
amazingly good. Love it.
And I got it for like $1. That's the best part. $1.
$1. No, you can't beat deals like that. So that's all right.
So, yeah,
good. So Tim's had a good week. It's
been all right. There's no complaints. Like I said, I've been trying to focus on getting video edited and photos edited, and I'm trying to make everybody happy and meet deadlines. And when you have a schedule, that stuff goes a lot easier. Like today was editing pictures, whereas yesterday was a combination of editing video, and then while I was waiting for video to render, I edited pictures, right? And then say Wednesday, I'm editing specifically just art, like so.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good. Cool. Keep on that schedule, Tim.
I am done now, Dave.
Okay. And then we have going around the virtual table, Dave.
What's going on?
Not much. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. Busy week. I've just been going nonstop.
I like
that thanks. Tried to trim up the beard the other day.
You know what?
I bought a new trimmer.
Is your hair still blonde?
Yeah, a little bit, just the tips.
Just the tip.
You look like that fucking chef guy.
That's what Adam
Guy Fieri.
Yeah. All you need is those like cheesy wraparound fucking like Oakley glasses.
Different one, I think, but still.
Okay.
Yes, Dave. You look like Guy Fieri or Guy Fieri. Yes.
Lovely.
Isn't that who I was talking about?
No, there's two of them. They look almost identical.
Who's the other guy?
I don't friggin' know.
Well, Guy Fieri's got white hair.
I don't
isn't
know.
he the chef guy, the like extreme chef?
There's like two or three of them, and they look almost all identical. But one of them's got glasses and no beard. The other one's Guy Fieri's got the little beard, but it's like black beard and with some white in it, and like the white.
Yeah, and he wears the wraparound Oakley glasses.
No, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know that much about Guy Fieri.
We're spending way too much time on this, Dave. Proceed.
He doesn't friggin' sponsor the show. So moving on, Dave.
Yeah, moving on.
How's your week been?
Busy.
Feel shot down, guys.
Feel shot down.
Shot down.
All right.
So I'm sorry, Adam. I'm sorry.
Busy, Dave. Your week's been busy.
Trying to think of what I watched, and then I realized, I spent like all day Saturday watching Blade Runner, and then finally got around to watching Blade Runner 2049. So that's like an all-day event.
That was like a job.
That is a marathon.
Like Blade Runner 2049 is like 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then Blade Runner itself is a couple hours. So yeah.
Yeah.
Your thoughts? Did you like it?
Yeah, I mean, the original Blade Runner I haven't seen in probably, 20 plus years. So it was good to revisit that. And, you kind of have to in order to watch Blade Runner 2049. I'm glad I did because there are a lot of references to the original Blade Runner, of course, and you really should be up on that story to appreciate the newer one. So I won't spoil anything, but it's. I thought it was a worthy. Follow-up. It was interesting where they took it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, nice. I bought it on iTunes. I just haven't had a chance to watch it yet. So I'll be putting that on one of these days. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Other than that, that's for movies and stuff. That's pretty much everything I've watched. Just Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049. Everything else, I've just been working on the play. Just doing rehearsals and getting ramped up for March. And theater life is accumulating most of my time right now. It's taking up most of my time. So and it's going to be like that until March.
And we're taking up the rest of it. So we're happy that you're here, Dave.
You guys are taking up the rest of it. Yeah. That's a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. Giving our fans what they want. So, Dave.
I love it.
Dave! Dave! Excellent.
I am what the fans want.
That's right. And moving on, everybody. So, it's been a good week. Lots going on. We've been talking about the future of what we are going to do with the podcast. We got something very, very, very cool lined up for episode 50, which is coming up a lot quicker than you think. So pay attention and keep up to date on that, ladies and gentlemen. When we announce what we're doing for that, you guys are going to really love it. We need to...
it's real nice.
It's real nice. We need to finalize the details on it because it's going to be one hell of a marathon-type episode for us to do, so... it's going to be fun. So,
Adam, why don't you share and talk to the people about the work of art that you have created? I have never been so proud of another individual until I've seen this, and I'm putting this over shit my kid does.
Holy Jesus, Tim.
Okay?
Oh, man.
I saw pictures of this. I swear to God, dude, this was a talent that I did not know you even had. Talk to the people what I'm talking about.
All right. Let's be upfront and frank about it. This is a talent that I didn't know that I had, but apparently it's kind of making waves right now. Everybody's kind of loving it and jumping on it. I decided to take up sculpting. I wanted to learn how to make masks and sculptures and molding and everything else. And I'll put a reference over here. I'll show some pictures of it or put a video, like one of the videos that I did.
Somewhere
in that direction over there. The first sculpt that I did is one that I don't have them molded yet. I'm still kind of working on the details, but I got two sculptures on the go. One of them I'm not extremely happy with, but it was kind of like my first sculpture. It's a Leatherface mask.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. It's 1974 Texas Chainsaw Massacre Leatherface killing mask, which is only a half head mask because I was planning on doing like a wig for the back of it. But the second one, I got a Monster Maker armature head, full head. Bought it online, had it ordered up from a company up in Montreal, very nice company. And first thing I did was I said, frig this, We've got a couple
You
of...
said frig?
I said
Like you are.
frig. I said
Did you actually
frig.
say that to yourself?
No, I said...
Frig this.
I said fuck this, but okay. I wanted, because for anybody who follows us a little bit, and I had posted some pictures of this, we bought a wonderful mask through Tyler Adams at Big Sharp Knife Studios. But the problem is that what we bought it for, I don't want to mangle it. I don't want to mangle it.
Yeah, it's a nice piece. It's almost like a display piece or something that you would wear for Halloween.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we've got a couple.
We want to beat the hell out of it.
Yeah, we want to beat the hell out of it. So I said, "Fuck this," and I built my own. I literally sculpted my own Friday the 13th Part 4 Jason Voorhees head sculpt. It's not done. Still putting in some of the details, like his pack of wieners on the back of his neck, from him. Folding skin and some of the detail in the neck. Yeah, pack of wieners. But in the end, I will have my own sculpt that I did by hand of Jason Voorhees. And yeah, everybody that I've shown it to is just absolutely enamored by it. And I posted it up on a couple of Friday 13th forums that I frequent. And people are absolutely like, I want it. Like, get me one. I'll buy one. And I'm just like, shit, okay. But I haven't even delved into painting or anything yet. I'm just sculpting, and like I could probably do blank pulls of this thing when I get it molded, but I can't paint yet. So let's figure that out. But yeah, no, I'm happy with it. Thank you, Tim. I'm very happy with it. Everybody, like literally, my wife walks in and goes like, "I know you're talented, but where the hell did this come from?" And I'm like, I don't know. I literally just picked up the tools and started shaping them because the kids got me the tools for Christmas because I wanted to get into it. And I just
now we gotta unlock Dave's secret talent.
Unlock
Dave's secret talent.
I'm almost scared to find out.
How many hot dogs will David eat? Find out next episode.
Fuck you.
Shit.
It's brilliant.
Tim can draw, Adam can sculpt, Dave sits here and drinks coffee and fucking insults everybody.
No, don't sell your shit. You're directing a play.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've already read your writing. I've already read. Remember, you sent me a bunch of scripts. I've read them. You're also a very good writer.
Thanks, appreciate that.
So we're like.
This is the misunderstood art company.
Trifecta.
Yes.
Trifecta.
This is good. Excellent. Well, gentlemen, we're going to have to probably take a break in a second here, but, before we take a break, it's just important to note to everybody that tonight we continue our discussion in John Carpenter's January.
Thank
Thank you, Dave. And tonight's discussion, everybody, will be on the absolute classic 1983 John Carpenter's Christine. So we changed up a couple of things about this, but we wanted to get this movie in because this is absolutely one of his classics, and we can't wait to talk about it. I had fun revisiting this movie, and we hope that you enjoy our conversation on it. So, without further ado, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we will talk about John Carpenter's Christine. See you in a minute.
Christine.
See you in a minute, everybody.
Hi everybody, this is Vincent DeSanti, the writer and director of Friday the 13th fan film Never Hike Alone, and you are listening to the great commentary of They Cast from the Coast. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to check out Never Hike Alone, which is streaming for free on YouTube right now.
Sonny, you ever owned a car before?
No. I just got my license.
Start her up. Her name's Christine.
I like that.
I saw you guys at the football game. How'd you ever get that car fixed up like that?
Oh, just plain old-fashioned hard work, huh?
Ever since he bought that car, he's been obsessed with it. And you know what else? They told us the man who owned that car last died in it. What do you know about that car?
I know that the guy who owned the car before, Arnie, His daughter choked to death in Christine.
It's that car. I swear it's the car.
How's Christine coming?
Oh, Cherry.
That's funny, because I heard she was totaled.
Well, after I cleaned up the broken glass, it wasn't so bad.
So what if you fix it up, and he just comes back and does it again?
He won't do it again.
So, I'd like to interrupt this regularly scheduled program of They Cast from the Coast with a small announcement. As part of our January, John Carpenter's January, we, as me and Adam, recorded an episode of Red Band Review, and it was a new aspect of Red Band Review. It was commentary. And we mentioned this a couple episodes back, that it was being edited and all that, and it's done. 2 hours of awesomeness. And basically what we did was, Adam and I, we basically did commentary over John Carpenter's The Thing. Mm-hmm. We went to go upload it to YouTube, and it got striked for copyright reasons. Completely understandable, even though we did feel we took steps in, reversing the video. The audio wasn't as loud.
I own the damn thing in iTunes. We were just commenting on the damn movie.
Exactly. So, with that being said, we cannot upload it to YouTube. So, as a other option, we are officially going to upload it to our Facebook page, Misunderstood Art Company, and it will be there for your viewing pleasure. I highly recommend that you watch it. It's very entertaining. Me and Adam have a very good time talking about it. This episode tonight was originally supposed to be one of those red bands as well, but unfortunately I didn't want to spend a week and a half editing and not have it be able to be posted on YouTube. So, like I said, as a second option, a backup plan, we're going to just upload it to our Facebook page, and hopefully all of you will enjoy it as much as Adam and I did talking over it, making it. It was really good episode.
We basically turn into the guys that you kick the back of their seats at the movie theaters because we just won't shut the fuck up. So enjoy
or
that.
you sit down with like your significant other or your kids or something, and yeah. So an interesting thing about this scene, you know what I mean? Like
exactly.
That guy.
Exactly. So, ladies and gentlemen, take the opportunity that if you haven't seen The Thing from John Carpenter in a long time, or you haven't seen it at all, or you just want to enjoy it again because you love that movie, sit down, plug in the episode, and watch it with Tim and Adam in the room. Essentially, this is what you're going to get. So, enjoy the movie along with Tim and Adam. And maybe we'll do a, not necessarily record it, but maybe we'll do some sort of like a commentary type of thing where we actually bring on like a Patreon or a fan or somebody.
Or what I was thinking is the three of us get together, do the same thing that we did before, but instead of showing full-blown moving images of the film, just show movie stills.
Yeah, we could probably do that too. Yeah, we could probably do that. Yeah, here's to that. We'll figure that out, and we'll do that next time. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to continue on tonight with our discussion on John Carpenter's Christine. Tim, take us out.
John Carpenter's Christine.
Yeah.
1983 classic. I've gone recently, before I get into the synopsis, I want to give a little bit of context. I hated this movie for a very long time. As much as I love John Carpenter, I love Stephen King just as much, if not a little bit more. Okay? And going into this is Stephen King's story.
Mm-hmm.
It should be Stephen King's Christine. But this movie is not. This movie is John Carpenter's Christine. And for the longest time, I disliked that. I almost was resentful of that. Like, how dare you, you son of a bitch. But recently, upon a viewing that I did in preparation for this episode, I've come around a complete 180. This, even though it is taken from Stephen King's initial novel, John Carpenter made this movie very much his own. And that, now, in my eyes, is a very positive thing. Because he didn't really fuck with the story. No. He changed a couple things to make it maybe a little bit easier to film. But essentially, it's very, very, very close to the original novel.
Yep.
So, going into this now, I love this movie. So, synopsis. In 1957, in Detroit, a red Plymouth Fury is built and causes 2 accidents. The first one, a guy gets in, hears the radio, he sits down, he starts having... Oh, no, the first one was actually, yes, the hood. And, yeah, it was very cringy. The second one, a second man gets in, he's having a cigar, and then someone goes to check on him, and he's dead. So 2 accidents happen, and one of them is absolutely fatal while still in the assembly line. All of a sudden, there's this time jump. It's 21 years later, and it centers around the story of this outcast and bullied nerd named Arnie Cunningham. And he's getting to ride with his best friend Dennis, and he sees this wrecked car as he's driving down with his friend. They're, obviously, I think they just got out, they were on their way to school, if I'm correct, or on their way back. I don't remember. But school is somewhere in the middle of this. And they're driving from it or to it. And all of a sudden he sees this wrecked 1957 Plymouth Fury all fucked up in some guy's garden. When he sees the wrecked car, he immediately falls in love with this car. Arnie does. And you don't know why. Something's calling to him. He loves this car. And the car, he comes to find out, is affectionately known as Christine by its first owner. He brings the car to a repair shop. This horrible repair shop.
Darnell's or Daryl's or whatever.
Darnell's.
It was Darnell.
Yeah.
Owned by Will Darnell. And he works hard to restore this car. While he works in the restoration, as Christine gets more complete and fixed, Arnie's attitude and personality start to change because he's a very meek, kind of quiet little nerdy guy.
He's a good boy.
He's a good boy. But as Christine is getting restored, he's becoming more of a badass, almost taking traits from, the world of 1957. Like, he's turning into a greaser, basically.
Yes.
And,
good way to put it, yeah.
He turns into this cocky teenager, and he lays eyes on what he feels is the most beautiful girl in high school, Lee Cabot.
Mm-hmm.
And basically he gets in a relationship with her. Everybody doesn't know, how he got her, but now he's a badass. Early on in the movie, he's having run-ins with bullies, and we'll talk about the bullies later because they're awesome.
They are.
But they're so awesome. But I digress. So later on, the bullies become back to the forefront, and they're very jealous of Arnie's car. Because Christine, when she's all put together, she's a pretty sick looking fucking car. But the weird thing is that Arnie becomes, and it starts to become, selfish and jealous of Christine. That, you know, he's picking his relationship with his car over his best friend, Dennis. He's picking it over Lee. He's his parents, even though his parents are fucking retarded. Pardon my language here, guys. But they're pretty dumb.
Yeah.
And so basically the movie centers around all of that, and Christine, you come to find out, is alive. Some supernatural, unknown reason she is alive, and as Arnie's becoming jealous and protective, so is Christine. And it's almost like their personalities are starting to work in tandem, where they're almost like Christine's like kind of like a symbiote, like, you know, she's living off Arnie while Arnie is living off her. And and there's a bunch of John Carpenter magic with some Stephen King magic, and
wonderful stuff.
Was that good, guys?
That was good.
That was pretty good.
That was good.
Yeah,
Good synopsis.
You've done better, Dave? You've done better?
That was good. No, you know what? It's all you, man.
All right,
it's
buddy.
good. It's good.
Perfect. I gave it to you.
I know. You know, I always fuck up the synopsis, so I'm like, you know what? You guys can deal with the synopsis. I'll just weigh in on my opinion afterwards.
Okay.
Oh,
there we go. Okay, so let's talk about this for a second here. Let's just kind of break down the points. We've already talked about the actual... What?
You're going to fix what I did?
No! We're going to move on.
No, let's get into it, guys.
Let's have a discussion.
Okay, go.
Okay, so we just heard the synopsis. Let's talk a second about characters. Dave.
Obviously, we have the main character, Arnold Cunningham, who falls in love with Christine. We have Arnold's best friend, Dennis, who is your typical jock in the movie. We have
but is he a typical jock, though? Because he's actually really nice. Usually,
that's true.
Jocks are like bullies and, like, you know, the mean characters in the movie. And Dennis is actually really sweet to Arnie.
You make a good point. I don't think we see enough of Dennis as a jock. We just see him from Arnie's perspective, and we see that, you know, he's obviously Arnie's best friend. So I get the idea that it's almost like they grew up together very close and they were both outcasts, but then as they got older, Dennis kind of became more popular. He could play football, he was sought after, and people liked him. He was
kind of handsome.
He was kind of handsome, people liked him, and Arnie's just always been...
Strong jawbone.
Yeah. Strong jawbones. Eventually a great fighter pilot, you know, that kind of shit, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
But it's almost like he was always the true friend to Arnie and kind of brings Arnie with him.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know,
absolutely.
so that's the impression that I get from this character. So
he takes care of Arnie. That's the character. I mean, you see that he almost plays the older brother character. Yeah. He takes care of Arnie. Arnie looks up to him. You know, he's like the older brother. I mean, he's the one with the wheels. He gets all the ladies, and he looks out for Arnie. He protects him, as we see in the movie. On top of that, we have Lee, who is the love interest, the new girl in school that everybody's, you know, tripping over. They want to get with Lee, and obviously she ends up getting with Arnie. We have the bullies, who are awesome.
God, yes.
And the names. I mean, let's talk about the names for a second. We have Buddy Repperton.
Yes!
Woo! The gang. Buddy Repperton.
You hear that name and you automatically think bully.
Badass.
Asshole.
Yeah, but like my favorite thing about Buddy Repperton is his feathered Kurt Russell style hair cascading over his
luscious locks.
Yes, I loved him. He looked like he was like 35 years old in high school. You know what I mean?
The 35-year-old in shop class.
Yeah.
The switchblade, and yeah.
And then we have, and then we have another great name. We have Moochie Welch. Moochie.
Yeah.
And then we have there's four altogether. There's four of them.
There was Rich.
Rich Trelawney.
Yeah, and who was he was in Friday Part 2? the comedian.
Was that Rich?
No, that wasn't Rich. That was... He was, I don't know. Just hold on. I'm looking at the full cast.
Well, Rich Stephen Tash was in Ghostbusters. He was infamously in the opening scene, Bill Murray shocking him. Right? Yes. Ghostbusters and Christine. Yes. I know who you're talking about. There was another character that was in here that was in...
There was it's Charno. Yeah. Don Vandenberg.
Oh, yes. He played...
Yeah. So these guys kind of round out the bullies at the high school, and they repeatedly pick on Arnie. And hang on a second, I got a cramp in my leg.
Dave's got a cramp in his leg, everybody.
Fuck.
Let's go to commercial.
Commercial. No, just using. So I started getting a Charlie horse. I'm like, fuck, this hurts.
I'm not cutting that, by the way.
Wow, this is so professional right now.
This is awesome. Yeah.
All right, continue, Dave.
That's great. We'll leave that for the green room. That's bonus material.
Actually, it should be.
Dave gets a Charlie horse. Fucking fuck.
We'll do a compilation of just random shit.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. All right, where was I? So these four guys kind of round out the bullies. And, obviously they make Arnie's life a living hell. I mean, as we can see in the one scene, they've got him down in the shop class, and they've got his lunch, and, Buddy Repperton's, like, cutting it open, and the yogurt's spilling everywhere. And anyway, it ends up, becoming one big clusterfuck. But we get the impression, like, these guys are pricks. They're bullies. They're the school bullies. And they repeatedly pick on Arnie. They have he's got a hard time with these guys. And, in the end, it's classic, Stephen King. It's setting everything up. It's setting the stage for what's to come. Because ultimately, Christine, even though it's a bit of a love triangle, it ends up being a revenge movie as well. So those are kind of the main cast of characters. We do have some other characters that come along, such as Darnell, who owns the garage, where Arnie parks Christine and works on her. We have Harry Dean Stanton plays the detective that starts snooping around, trying to figure out, what's going on, investigating the murders.
I wish he was in it more.
Yeah, he's a good actor, and I liked his role.
Because if I remember from the novel, his investigation happened over a longer period of time, right?
Oh, okay.
You could be right. It's been so long since I read the book. That was actually the very first Stephen King book I ever read was Christine, and I've read it twice. And yeah, I watch the movie nowadays. I mean, I just sit down. It's easier to turn on the movie than sit down and try to reread the book again. So.
That's right. So, Tim, add into anything that you want to talk about for the characters for a second.
I mean, we touched on Arnie. I feel that we got a good kind of synopsis of his character from the actual synopsis.
Yeah.
Same with Dennis and Lee. Darnell is, I don't know what he's doing. Is he like a drug dealer or something? Like getting Arnie to do deliveries and shit? I don't know where that was going. Yeah.
He's a pretty shitty Mr. Miyagi type of character too, right? At first you think that he's going to like take him under his wing, and all of a sudden it's like, busting balls. Every other breath is something horrible towards him, like
exactly.
Don't fucking get confident on this shit. And he's just an asshole character. It's funny.
He is an asshole character. What an asshole character. Kelly Preston has a cameo in this very small role as Roseanne. She's probably the one that I would have hit on instead of Lee Brackett. They're just saying, like, or Cabot or whatever the fuck her name was. Lee Cabot. I don't know. I mean, okay. you got his parents.
They're assholes.
They are assholes.
Self-absorbed assholes is what they are.
Absolutely.
Okay. So this brings up the question then. Let's talk about this about the characters for a second. Which one of the bullies took the shit on the dashboard? Who do you think?
I'm going to say Moochie.
Was it?
Moochie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come on, he just looks like the type of guy who's like, you want to know what'd be funny?
Yeah.
Isn't he the one that who did he grab by the nuts?
That was Mooch.
It was Moochie.
He grabbed Arnie.
Yeah, but
Dennis.
Was
He
it
grabbed
Arnie? Dennis, yeah.
Yeah, he grabbed Arnie.
Like,
That was like the weirdest bullying scene though I've ever witnessed though. Like he grabs him and he just right hand on the balls and starts squeezing.
I do have another character that I was very, very happy when I figured out who this actor was. We have the character of George LeBay, who was the original owner, or the brother of the original owner of Christine. Yes. Do you know what actor that is?
Not off the top of my head.
He is the old man from Home Alone.
Oh, no way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Metal Brace on his back walking around in this movie.
Yeah. I can't remember his actual character name from Home Alone. Old Man Marley.
Old Man Marley.
That just came to me. That was not Google's involvement at all.
The character that always taught us never to judge a book by its cover.
Exactly, but I was really happy that he was in the film because I'm like, oh my god, this is what he was doing before he fucked with Kevin McAllister.
His brother,
he owned Christine.
His brother killed himself. He owned Christine and he sold Christine. Well, his back worked out good. He's shoveling snow now.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, special effects. Tim.
Not a lot of special effects in this movie for a horror movie.
No.
A lot of the practical effects were like amazing of Christine getting restored and like when all the bullies smash the car and Arnie's talking to Christine afterwards and she starts, that was amazing. Like obviously you could tell that it was scene shot in reverse. Like, you know, they imploded it or whatever, right? I thought those were really good. But I mean, a lot of it was, there wasn't a lot of special effects. And if they were, a lot of them were just practical, it's 1983, so they weren't really going above and beyond. A lot of it was just mood and tone and like, when Christine kind of went nuts at the drive-in and the bright light shone on the inside and there wasn't a lot of special effects.
But that's the cool thing though, is that special effects were everywhere in this movie, but there was just a lot of practical special effects, and I love that. Yep. My favorite scene in the movie is one of the coolest practical effects scenes in this entire movie. When Christine is on fire.
Yeah.
And first off, it starts off amazing when the gas station blows up and then Christine leaves and she's on fire, and then down the dark road, and the only thing lighting up the road are the headlights and the flames as she's driving. And what does she do? She finds her victim and runs his ass over.
Poor Buddy Repperton.
Poor Buddy Repperton. But it is gorgeously filmed, and the effects behind that are just, they're practical. They dosed the car and drove it, but it looks beautiful on the camera.
Yeah. And then Carpenter's score is playing, and it's awesome. Yeah.
Another thing that I really liked was at the end when Dennis and Lee are confronting Christine and in the repair shop or whatever, and he's in the big,
Caterpillar.
Caterpillar fucking plow thing.
Petunia.
Yeah. How Christine gets all fucked up and like her hood looks like teeth, the jagged metal, and like it's bent in. It looks. I love that scene.
Looks evil.
Yeah, it looks evil. One key thing that I really enjoyed about the aesthetic of Christine overall was when she was out prowling, her windows were black. They were blacked out.
Yep.
Right? And obviously that's to cover the stuntman that's driving.
Yeah.
But aesthetically, it's almost like that this is just Christine doing it. It's not necessarily,
But then it takes us for a bit of a loop, because in the end, when Christine is hidden and comes out after them, it's blackened down windows. But then all of a sudden, when she's stopped and she's repairing herself in the back, and you can hear it happening, and then all of a sudden it zooms in, and you see Arnie sitting in the dark inside. And he is just absolutely evil incarnate at this point. He is pissed off and evil. And it's beautiful because it just kind of hides him.
Yeah.
And I thought it was well done that way. Yeah. Dave, what else you got to add to that?
As far as the effects go, I think you guys pretty much nailed it. I'd say my favorite probably would be the scene where the gas station blows up and it's on fire and chasing Buddy Repperton down the street, and you've got Carpenter's score playing. It's just, to me, that's probably the most iconic scene of this movie, simply because it's haunting. And I remember when it first came on pay-per-view back in the mid-'80s on First Choice Super Channel pay-per-view. That was
First Choice. I remember.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Yes. That was the scene right there when they used to roll the trailers in between the movies.
Yeah.
It was that scene with that score.
First Choice. And,
yes, that would play over and over and over again to promote Christine playing on First Choice. And it's to me it's that iconic scene from the movie. Yeah. So I love that. But I mean, the other stuff, like the regeneration scenes, are awesome.
Yeah.
One thing about that, though, apparently all those regeneration scenes were shot in post. They weren't actually filmed as part of the standard production. It was filmed after the fact in post, and it was all done through hydraulics.
I love everything about that. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Okay. So, favorite scene. I want to just talk about for a second our favorite scenes, and then we'll do a quick overall feeling on this movie. So, actually, let's do that all together. So, overall thoughts on this movie, and just point out your favorite couple of scenes. Just pick 2 scenes, best scenes in the movie that you love. Dave.
Were you going to say Tim, but it came out Dave?
Let's give it
Dave.
All right, Dave. It's like Ben Affleck and Jennifer. It's Bennifer. It's Dave. So Dave.
Again, my favorite scene is the Christine on fire chasing down Buddy Repperton, the score playing. It's just, I could watch that over and over and over again. I wish it was longer. I just wish it played out a little bit longer than what it does. It's still awesome, but it's so awesome, I wanted it to keep going.
Second favorite.
Second favorite.
Could be a kill, could be anything. Was that entirely your favorite part of the movie, or just your favorite scene in the movie? What did you like the most about this movie and the story? And then your final overall thoughts.
That's probably my favorite scene in the movie. Otherwise, I mean, I enjoyed the movie from beginning to end. The first time I saw this movie, I was torn because I'd read the book first and then watched the movie. And it's very difficult to adapt a Stephen King novel to the screen. And my first viewing of this movie, I came away disappointed. Actually, I was a little upset because I was such a fan of the book. The book had so much character to it. I mean, the car was its own character. We don't know any of the backstory other than she was born on an assembly line in 1957 Detroit, and she was born bad, right? Hence Bad to the Bone playing in the movie at the beginning, which is awesome.
In the end.
In the end. But, I don't know. I like the whole movie. Like, I like the story. I think it's a very deep story. I mean, it ends up, it's a story of Arnie falling in love with Christine and Christine making so that nothing comes between them. And I don't know. It's just, to me, there's a lot of depth in that story, just the way it plays out. So, I mean, the iconic scene with the car on fire is definitely my favorite. But other than that, I really don't have a favorite moment.
Okay.
I like the whole movie. I love the story.
All right. So overall, you love the movie, you love the book, you love the story. You love everything about it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
And I've certainly appreciated it more over the years. The more I watch it, the more I appreciate what Carpenter did with it. Yes, it's a John Carpenter movie. I mean, you just have to listen to the score and see, watch the cinematography, and it's clearly Carpenter, but it's a very faithful adaptation of that source material.
Okay.
It's probably one of the best Stephen King adaptations, I would say.
Fair enough. All right, Tim. So overall final thoughts on the movie and your favorite scenes. Let's try. I know we love the scene with the car on fire and everything else, but, you know, like, is there anything else that stands out in this movie for you? Because I got one I'm going to talk about for a second, but go ahead.
I hope I don't steal your scene.
I hope not either. Go ahead.
But I think I did. I think I am.
I think you are.
The alley scene.
Oh, you bastard. Yes!
That alley scene was so fucking creepy to me, and I think it was more creepy than the car on fire, because you have a car and you have this narrow alley, right? That's big enough for one person. Who was it? Was it Moochie?
It was Moochie.
Yeah. So you got Moochie pissing his pants up against the wall, and you got the Christine at the front of the alley, and he thinks he's safe.
Yeah.
And then Christine's like, nope, and starts squeezing in, and like it's all bending, and he's coming, and then just Christine, nope, no stopping, and cuts him in half, basically. Swishes him.
And they had to shovel up his bottom half with a shovel, or they had to pick up his bottom half with a shovel. Well, isn't that what you do with shit?
Yeah.
Great scene, but the one thing that always bothered me about that scene every time I watched it was, why the fuck didn't he just jump over the hood of the car and, like...
Just walk on the hood of the car. It was coming in slow.
Universe.
It just bugged me, that's all.
No, I know, but that is one of my favorite scenes. Again, I like the whole gas station, middle of the road.
Yeah.
Buddy rips in, it's on fire. I love that scene. But the alleyway scene was the one that actually kind of creeped me out, because it's like, a car's not supposed to be able to do that. You could see a car on fire, but a car's no one driving it coming in to get you. Like, I loved it. My
whole chase scene right before that, though, plays out real nice too.
Yes,
it's a straight out. That scene right there is a straight out horror movie. Like, he's being hunted down by the car. The lighting, the cinematography,
the music.
You know, the music. I mean, this poor kid is scared shitless, being chased by this unrelenting car. And then they get to the alley. There's no way to go. No, absolutely, it's a great scene.
Yeah, and it's almost as if Carpenter treated Christine like a slasher icon. Like,
oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Like the whole cat and mouse chasing and all that. My overall thoughts of the movie, I kind of touched on it before I went into the synopsis, was that originally I disliked this movie because I felt that it was unfair to Stephen King's original work. It's John Carpenter's Christine, when I always knew it as Stephen King's Christine. But John Carpenter created such a wonderfully faithful, for the most part, adaptation of Stephen King's work, yet still kept true to John Carpenter. And that is by far not an easy thing to do. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. Obviously, I read the book, and I loved it. It's not one of Stephen King's best books, but it's definitely a classic novel. And, you know, it's kind of one of those things where, you know, who do I side with, mom or dad? You know what I mean? Like, right? And I'm right down the middle. I enjoy both for what they are. It's not very scary.
No.
You know what I mean? It's very suspenseful. It's one of the most fucked up love stories I've ever seen in my life.
Yes.
Because essentially that's what it is. It's a boy loving his car.
Yeah.
And all the other relationships fall to the wayside because of his obsession with this car. But, you know, the Christine kicked ass. I really like how it was Christine was treated as if she was her own character, which she should be, because that's how it was in the book. One of the things that I do wish that they would have put was the creepy ghost in the back seat. That was all through the novel. What's his name's brother?
Oh, yeah, George LeBay's brother.
Yeah, which was completely omitted in the movie, and I can understand why. But, you know, an hour and a half of more John Carpenter magic is fucking great by me. And if you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor, watch it.
That's right. So my final thoughts on the movie, I pretty much share a lot of the same feelings as you guys.
I don't you were going to say sentiments, because that's normally what you say.
Sentiments, I share the same sentiments then. That's better, Tim.
Familiar.
Familiar territory. I don't really remember much of the novel. I remember reading it younger, skipping through it. I haven't read it in many years, so when you mentioned the ghost in the backseat, I gotta admit, I don't really remember a lot of that, so that's good stuff. I might have to return to the novel. I agree. This is John Carpenter's Christine. Period. It's got Carpenter tone, feeling, look, everything about it, the music down to the score, and how he chose not his own music, but the actual music of the time and things like this.
But his music is in there, though.
It is, yes. But
there.
I said, but not only that, it's how he also chose the music of the time and certain very iconic songs to go with the movie. I love it, and I love John Carpenter, and I love Stephen King. So this movie's just full of win for me because it is, like you say, it's the best of both.
Full of win. I love
full of
that.
win. It is the best of both parenting worlds going on here. The one who loves and writes, and the one who loves and shows, and teaches. And it's a beautiful mixture. Yes, my two favorite scenes: car on fire and the alleyway. But yes, Dave, it always did bug me. I know he's a big dude, Mooch is a big dude, but he could have crawled up on top of that damn hood or something, I don't know. But still, it led for a great scenario and scene when, once again, they're talking about the fact that they had to scrape up his bottom half. Well, that's what you do, you shovel shit. It was just good all discussion with Harry Dean Stanton's character.
Sometimes you just got to look past, he could have jumped over the hood because it's such a good movie and it's such a good scene. And, I mean, in the end, here we are watching a movie, suspending, belief that a car is possessed and killing people. So, you know what? All right. So he didn't climb over the car.
Here's my final thought on this, though. Do you think that the car loved him back, really? Or do you think the car used him?
I think it was a little of both.
Because here's my thought. When he dies, and he puts out his hand, and he's laying there, and he touches the car, and the car kind of almost sighs to, almost like it releases itself really quickly. You know what I mean? Like a somberness to it. The car, you feel the damn car
exhales.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden the car gets pissed off and turns back on, and it's murder time. Yeah. But a lot of people just kind of, when they watch this movie, go, oh yeah, okay, fine, it's a murdering car, and the car's just out to kill people. But the two trains of thoughts that I've seen are, it's almost like the car's released. But I feel that he loved, the car needed to be loved. She loved him back.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Yeah.
All right. So there you go. Christine, The Car Who Loved a Man Back by John Carpenter. Go ahead, Tim.
It's trivia time with Tim.
Trivia time with Tim!
Trivia time with Tim.
Go ahead, Tim.
Trivia time with Tim.
There's a bunch of trivia, but I broke it down to a lot of, like, a few of my favorite ones. First and foremost, if you guys did not know, this film was shot in the same exact neighborhood as Halloween.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Little John Carpenter.
Yeah, I love that point because I was like looking for Laurie's house and you know what I mean? But you watch it and you're like, yeah, that looks like the same neighborhood because that was one of the first things Anthony said when I was watching it with him. He goes, I'm expecting Michael Myers to come around the hedge, right?
It does look like mid-states America. It does. Michigan, Illinois, that kind of place.
A little actor known as Kevin Bacon was originally offered the role of Arnie, but turned it down to take up Footloose instead.
He danced his way out of that one.
He absolutely danced his way out of that one. One of the Plymouth Furies from the movie was sold for $167,000 in 2004.
So worth it, though.
Oh, absolutely. Can you imagine owning that car? And
There's only like 2 left, isn't there?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous to begin with. I mean, the car is gorgeous to begin with, but then to own a piece of memory, like movie history and memorabilia.
Before Christine was offered to John Carpenter to direct, he was actually offered another movie before this, Firestarter, which was originally supposed to be a John Carpenter directed movie. But for whatever reason it didn't happen. He ended up doing Christine instead.
Can I say that might have made Firestarter a good movie?
Yes, you can.
Because I really don't like Firestarter.
No.
I'm sorry, I'm such a bad King fan for saying that, but Firestarter's not a
I
great
had a
movie,
love-hate relationship with Firestarter. I want to like that movie, and I like Drew Barrymore, but it's not done very well.
No. So moving on, John Carpenter would have made that a good movie.
Yeah, agreed.
This movie was considered a misfire by both Stephen King fans and John Carpenter fans when it was released, and in the industry as a whole. Both box office returns on this and the critical reaction basically made this movie a dud, which is unfortunate. And yeah, but here we are talking about it now with absolute love and admiration.
But once again, that follows suit with John Carpenter movies. The world has a love-hate relationship with Carpenter. He has his true fans, but the box office and the general public make it a shitstorm whenever he releases something. Hence why it's not easy to get John Carpenter to make a film anymore.
Yeah.
You know, so.
My final one.
Yeah.
And then we'll wrap up Trivia Time with Tim.
Trivia time.
Originally, Nicolas Cage auditioned for the role of Buddy.
No shit.
Yep.
Oh, man. Yeah, okay.
I don't know, man. I can kind of see it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm glad they went with who they went with because he is
a relative.
Yeah.
I mean, John.
And I mean,
let's face it.
Go ahead.
Nick Cage can play batshit crazy. We know this, but Buddy, I don't know. Buddy was perfect. Buddy was.
Oh my
Buddy
God,
was
Buddy was perfect.
You couldn't get better than what he did.
I loved him the moment I saw him.
Yeah. So okay.
Those sideburns, man.
And the feathered Kurt Russell hair. I loved it. Yeah. Cascading over his muscly shoulders.
Hey, you know what?
Right,
that just brings up a final point. If that was the last thing, I'm just going to say it. Sundance Film Festival's on right now.
Yes.
And I'm just going to say two things to anybody listening out there. There are two movies that your ass is going to want to be paying attention to when Sundance is over with and they're starting to come out. One, from the RKSS group out of Quebec, Roadkill Superstars, summer of '84. Get your ass in gear. Go watch the trailer. I think I've posted it. If I don't, or if I didn't, I'll post it again. Fantastic. Mm-hmm. Support the fellow Canadians. They're just like Astron 6. I love these people.
Yep.
Second, Nicolas Cage's newest movie premiered.
Wow, I love how you tied that in. That was good.
Exactly what's bringing this up. His latest movie is called Mandy. It is a revenge flick that is being deemed one of the most gruesome, gory, batshit crazy movies in decade. And so basically the whole premise of this movie is he lives basically a life in kind of like in a mountainous area with his wife, Mandy. And this cult comes through, like this motorbike cult comes through and murders her and leaves him for dead. And he goes on a revenge streak. And apparently the movie is an equal mix of batshit crazy Nicolas Cage action, horror, blood, guts, and Evil Dead is what they're claiming this movie is likened to. And I don't know how. Maybe it has to do with the cult itself. But every review coming out of Sundance since the movie premiered said this is one of the most amazing films you will see in a long time. Actually directed by the guy who made Beyond the Black Rainbow, I think is the title of it. The Black Rainbow. I can't remember the title of it right off the hat. It's another Canadian movie. Jason Eisner was very heavy on promoting it when it came out. Beyond the Black Rainbow, something like this. I'll double check it and I'll post it up there. But man, I'm telling you, that's just it. So out of Sundance, those two movies are going to absolutely beat you across the head to watch them. They're going to be amazing. So I can't wait for a trailer. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up our discussion tonight on John Carpenter's Christine. But Tim, do you got something else to say? You're kind of,
I was wrapping it up.
Oh, he's wrapping it up. That's
wrapping it up.
Wrapping it up. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for paying attention. Check us out on Facebook, Misunderstood Art Company. Check us out on YouTube under the Misunderstood Art Company. We have the discussion group for They Cast from the Coast. Please take the opportunity to say what to join us and to say that you appreciate us and that you love the show and show some love. We also have Patreon supporting us at this point. So take the opportunity, consider being a patron, even if it's just a minimum pledge and donation per month. Every little bit of it goes back into the show at this point, ladies and gentlemen.
Open your wallets.
And
open your hearts.
That's right. Open your wallets and open your hearts. So thank you very much for your time. Check us out. Subscribe, like, share the love, everybody. And until next time, Dave.
Have a good night, everyone.
Tim.
Stay spooky, everybody.
Take it easy, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
Good night.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in this week to They Cast from the Coast. We hope you enjoyed the topic and the discussion that we've had tonight. We're very excited about everything that's being produced right now in conjunction with the Misunderstood Art Company. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, say hi in the comments section, and just in general, check out the other content that's being offered, once again, under the Misunderstood Art Company. If you want to listen just to the audio portion of this show itself, we're making it available on iTunes, Google Play, and TuneIn on top of the YouTube channel itself. So thank you very much again for your continued support. Check out the rest of the Misunderstood Art Company's offerings. You might even see some familiar faces. And until next time, take it easy.